What's up, guys? Welcome back to Riffing with Clintus. It's been a couple weeks. I apologize. The plan was to record this episode after every episode of the Old Fashioned podcast, the podcast that I co-host with my buddies Kevin and Mike over at raredrop.co. We record an episode every week. I'm the third host, so we don't miss an episode. Unfortunately, the scheduling is always all over the place because we work around Kevin and Mike's schedules. I'm the flexible one, so it's just kind of like whatever works for them. I adjust my schedule. Not that big of a deal, but I'll postpone my streams or I'll end my streams early, that sort of thing. But because if we do like an early morning recording, then I try to get onto my Twitch stream right afterwards, and that's been a couple of times where it's messed up. I did record an episode maybe 2 weeks ago, I think it was. I lost track of when the last episode was. But after listening back to it, I was like, I forget. I don't remember what the topic was. I don't remember what I talked about, but whatever it was, I was like, you know what? I don't want to post this. So I didn't. But here we are. And we got a lot to talk about because a lot's happened. And see, if I don't record a podcast every week, we get like a big fatty episode where it's like, I got all this stuff to go over and cover and all that stuff. So buckle up. Should be a long one. First and foremost, though, a couple housekeeping things. I stream Monday through Friday at Twitch.tv/Clintus. At the moment, I'm doing about 40 hours a week. That's going to change over the summer. Probably going to be streaming less for various reasons. Number one being that my contract with Twitch is changing, or it's coming up. It auto renews. I'll always be a Twitch partner until I tell them I don't want to be, but just my obligations are changing. So I won't be streaming as much. I will still be streaming 5 days, 6 days a week, but it'll probably be shorter streams and possibly different hours. More on that later. YouTube vlogs are going up pretty regularly, not daily, but with the less hours on streaming, hopefully should increase the number of vlogs because, as we'll get into, and I've said thousands of times, for me to be creative, I need to be out doing things. So less streaming, less time in this chair, hopefully means more time out, meaning more content. So, G Fuel Shaker Cup still on sale, gfuel.com. The Clintus 2.0 Shaker Cup is selling like hotcakes. I love seeing everyone's tweets and Instagram pictures and stories when they get them. A lot of people trying G Fuel for the first time, which was awesome. I'm glad to hear that. My promo code is Clintus. It's usually 10% off. It bumps to 30 every once in a while, so stay tuned for that as well. And finally, merch, clintusmerch.com. We got that 5-year anniversary shirt, which should be on sale for at least another week or two. I think we might extend it through June, but it was gonna be to the month of May because that's my anniversary month. But if you want an anniversary shirt, if you've been a member of my Twitch community over the last 5 years and want to grab that shirt, do it before it's gone because it will be eventually off. It won't be for sale forever because it's an anniversary shirt. So clintusmerch.com. Everything else is down in the description below. I'm Clintus on every other social platform. So if you want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok or whatever, just go to the platform and do a search for Clintus and you'll find me. All right, let's jump into this. So I've been busy. Lots going on the last few weeks since we talked. The first thing I wanted to talk about is I've been watching TV, which sounds weird to say, like it's a big deal. Like, oh, you're just watching TV. Everyone watches TV. I don't watch TV. I don't. And it will. I realized this last night. I was watching Stranger Things season 1. Stranger Things season 4 drops on the 27th of May, which is tomorrow. The day of this recording, it's tomorrow. And the Old Fashioned podcast, we talk a lot about shows and movies and pop culture and stuff like that. And so, the guys want to talk about something. I'm like, I haven't seen that. Like, there's so many shows I haven't watched. So I'm trying to get caught up and be more relevant, like present with the new shows that are coming up. So we got Stranger Things season 4. We got Obi-Wan Kenobi coming up. There's the new Game of Thrones show. There's a bunch of shows coming up that I know these guys want to talk about, and I need to keep up with. So I've been binge watching and trying to watch more shows. So I finally caught up with I'm at Moon Knight. I finished Loki. I've watched Hawkeye. I'm getting ready to jump into Moon Knight. I was going to do Moon Knight this last week, but because of Stranger Things, I bumped that up. So I finished Stranger Things season 1. Loved it. The first episode hooked me like right away. I was like, okay, this is going to be cool. This is going to be good. I didn't realize how much supernatural element was in there, to be honest with you. I really didn't. I knew there was a little bit of that, but I didn't realize that was like literally the focal point. So once I figured that out pretty quickly, I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm going to jump into season 2 tonight. And like I said, hopefully to get through season 2 and 3 over the next like 3 or 4 days, and then hop into season 4 next week. So I'm not that far behind. But one of the things I realized watching Stranger Things, I think the reason why I gravitate towards movies is because we get through the story within a reasonable amount of time, right? Within 3 hours maximum, right? Most movies are less than 3 hours, but let's just say the rare occasion that a movie is 3 hours long, we get through the whole story. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and I feel satisfied. Even if there's a sequel, even if you know there's a sequel, right? Usually you're at a satisfactory point in that story that you're like, okay, right? It's okay. The one exception I make to that would be like Dune. First of all, when I saw Dune, I did not realize that it was going to be this episodic thing. There were clips in the trailer that either didn't make the movie, or it was so subtle that you didn't even realize. Like the whole thing was Zendaya. She doesn't show up to like the very end of the movie, and there's like, you know, 2 interactions with her and the main character. It's like, wait, that you made the trailer made it like these two were going to be like buddies and fighting, and that wasn't in the movie at all. Like, it was so weird. So I think the reason why I tend to, when I at night, everyone goes to bed, I hit the couch by myself, I pull up, you know, Netflix or Prime or just Apple TV, you know, iTunes. I tend to gravitate towards movies. There's so many shows that sound awesome. They look amazing. I'm like, yes, this looks cool. I want to watch this, but I don't. I think it's because of that. I sit down and watch an episode, and it's an hour-long episode, 40 minutes, something like that. And I'm like, okay, cool, but I want more, right? And so you end up sitting there, and it takes, if you think about it, right? Like Stranger Things was 8 episodes, 8 hours, essentially, to get through the entire story arc. And I think that's the problem. I think that's the thing. I'll sit there for an hour or two to watch a couple episodes, and you're just like, I have so many more questions than I started with, right? Like, there was this much resolution, but then there's this much more like questions. And I feel like a lot of shows are like that. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. I think in the back in my day, the old days, you had to watch an episode a week. So it hooked you, and you would watch an episode every week, right? And that's how TV shows were. Nowadays, you have a mixture of like, here's the whole season at once, which is cool because you can binge watch. It's not even that. It's just the fact that it takes so long to get through a story, right? I can remember like back in like Battlestar Galactica days, where like a story arc might have been like 3 episodes, 3 or 4 episodes. You get, you know, a story arc, and then there'd be a cliffhanger, and you wait for the next week. And then maybe that would resolve. It was just 2 episodes, maybe a third. Maybe they could stretch it to a third, right? Maybe something else got new got introduced, and so it's 3 episode story arc. But like within like 2 or 3 episodes, they moved on to a new story arc, right? There's always the overarching story arc. A lot of shows are like that, but every episode is almost its own story, you know. So I don't know if what I like better. I know when Battlestar Galactica was the main show I watched, I did like that. Multi episodes was one story, right? I did like that. Maybe I've changed. I don't know. It just seems like that's what I could put my finger on after watching Stranger Things. I was like, it just takes too long to get to resolution, to get the answers. I want the answers. I want to know what the fuck is going on. I want to know what's happening, and it takes too long to get there. And I think that's the problem. I think that's why I lose interest in shows. Really, like I started Game of Thrones, never finished it. I think in like season 4 or 5. I started The Expanse. Love The Expanse. Great show. It's sci-fi. Has like a little bit of like a cyberpunk dystopian. I really liked it. But why have I stopped watching it? I don't know. Other than it just takes too fucking long to get to some resolution, to get to some answers, to like make me feel satisfied. Where I'm like, oh, okay. And then boom, we're off on the race. We're off to the next one. You know what I mean? Like I need like that kind of like this. And I feel like most shows are like this. And so it just takes forever, like a roller coaster with the longest ding 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 ding. Like I need the, you know, get me going, and then all right, let's do it again, and then go, and then do it again. Like I need that. And so I think that's that's the only thing I think of why I tend to gravitate toward movies, because there'll be so many weekends I'll watch 3 movies. Like I'll sit and watch 3 movies, 6 hours of content. but I feel satisfied because I finished it and I started another one, and then I finished it and I started another one. You know what I'm saying? Whereas a show, I'll watch 2 or 3 episodes and I'm like, all right, I'll finish it tomorrow, you know, or I'll get back to it tomorrow. I don't know. Anyway, watching Stranger Things, finished season 1, loved it, fantastic. Looking forward to season 2. Watched Love, Death, Robots Volume 3 this last weekend. Loved that, fantastic. Liked it better than Volume 2. Still think Volume 1 had more episodes that I liked, but it also had twice as many episodes. They're bringing back some of the original directors, so there were some very familiar art styles and animation styles in the movie, or in this volume, including the last episode of Volume 3 is the same director as The Witness from Volume 1, which was one of my favorite episodes. The style is amazing. There's no dialogue. There's like 2 lines of dialogue in the entire episode. This one didn't have any either, and so I just love that the fact that they did everything with like sound, and it has this like chaotic camera shake, rack focus. I loved it. It was awesome. That one and the something about, I forget the name of the episode, but it was something about the valley. It was like military guys. Same thing, same kind of like art concept that they from previous volumes. Really like that. So Love, Death, Robots, one of my favorites. They're all shorts. Again, short bite-sized content. I think I like that better. Like I said, I got through Marvel. I'm getting ready to start Moon Knight after I'm done with Stranger Things. But yeah, I mean, I got a long list of shows. There's shows I want to watch. Like I said, I want to finish The Expanse. I think it's a fantastic show, and I know there's like 7 seasons, I think. So lots of content to get into. Though I've heard that it's a very repetitive. Like once you've gotten through like 3 seasons, it seems to be the same. Everything's the same. It's just a new characters or new story, but it's the same story, you know. Which I take reviews with a grain of salt. First of all, I don't ever look at Rotten Tomatoes. Like I have friends and family that are always like, you know, we talk about a movie and they're like, oh, I got this rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, I don't care. Most of the time, I like things that most people don't, or I like things that critics don't. So again, I take everything with a grain of salt when someone gives me a review that, oh, it was terrible, horrible. Most of the time, I don't agree with them. So yeah, The Expanse. What else is on my list? Lost in Space is on there. Hell, I wouldn't even mind going back and finishing Stargate. I never finished Stargate. I watched that up into Atlantis. I think I got into like whatever the season of Stargate SG-1, and then Atlantis started. I'm in that season. And then I know there's like Stargate Universe after that too. So I don't know. I've thought about going back and watching that just for, you know, completion, to be a completionist, if you will. But there's so many new shows. Like Westworld is another one that I feel like I'd like. It's that kind of like sci-fi, futuristic. But then the only thing that turns me off again is the Western. Like the Westworld is a Western town, but I feel like kind of like Stranger Things. I think that even though it's in the 80s and that aesthetic doesn't really do anything for me. I mean, granted, I was born in the 80s, but the show takes place in like 83, I think is what they said. So like I was 2. So technically, like, even though I was born in the 80s, I'm not a child of the 80s. I'm a child of the 90s, right? Like 90s was my decade that I grew up in. I don't remember the 80s, to be honest with you. You know, like I see some things, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I remember them from the 90s. I remember them, you know, looking back, if you will. And then even in my adult life, like knowing what the 80s was, what things were 80s. But you know, it's an 80s aesthetic, but it's got that sci-fi, you know, supernatural element woven into it. So I think Westworld will probably be a win for me because of that. You know, they're in the future and they go back and forth between the future and the Westworld, and so it might be enough for me to really into. I've even talked about finishing Altered Carbon, because I never finished Altered Carbon season 1. Loved that show. Fucking loved Altered Carbon. When I found out they canceled it after season 2, and I guess I don't know if the animated season is considered season 3 or if it's a standalone thing, but I know there's an animated season as well. I feel like I should watch them just for the sake of like it's a style that I like. I just don't know how season 2 ends. If there's a cliffhanger at the end of it where you're like, oh, season 3, and then there's no season 3. I hate that. I fucking hate that. Yeah, but I got a long queue. Of shows, so we're getting through them. I'm making it part of my routine now to sit down and watch at least some TV. Not every night, but most nights I try to. Speaking of staying up late, the kids are on summer break. They're officially done with school. Arizona is one of the earliest states that get out of summer break. Every year when I post the vlog of, kids are done with school, last day of school, the comments flood. You guys are already out of school already? I got 2 more weeks. I got another month. I don't get out of school until June. Like, Arizona is very early. It's usually the week before or the week of Memorial Day, which is mid-May or end of May. So yeah, the kids are out of school, and this is their first official week of summer break. But not a lot's changed. Other than them not going to school in the morning, they're still busy as hell. Sierra's got volleyball. She's working out now. She's going to the gym. She's getting ready to start a new job. Bryce has been going to the gym. He's been doing club basketball, but now he's doing a summer league with the school. And we found out that he can't do club when he's doing any kind of school basketball. So he's taking a break from club for the month, but doing the league with his school. And he's enjoying that because it's with the school coaches, it's with his school team, and he's kind of building that rapport with, the kids and the coaches for next season. So, he's gonna be a sophomore, and the way that they do sports here now is that there's no freshman team, right? It used to be freshman, JV, varsity. That's how it used to be. And I know a lot of schools still do that. But here they do JVA and JVB. And what that does is it allows sophomores to be on that JVB team. So there's a chance that a sophomore can be on that quote unquote freshman team, and it allows them to kind of move kids around a little bit. Like, it used to be like once you're a sophomore, you were forced to be on JV, which then kind of squished who could be on that JV team. Or if you didn't have enough freshmen to try out, you have a weak freshman team. Now you can fill with some sophomores. So last year it was all freshmen. And so we're feeling pretty good. We're feeling pretty confident that Bryce will make the JVA team, the JV team. Feeling pretty confident about that. Even in the summer league, there's only a JV and varsity team. He's been practicing with the varsity kids. And so obviously we don't know anything. We never like to speculate, but he's feeling like because he's been practicing with the varsity team, he might be on the varsity summer team. I don't know. More on that later, but he's really loving basketball. It's so wild. We thought he was done with basketball. We really did. We thought he's done. It's over. He surprised the shit out of us, and he's loving it. He really is. And I'm happy. I'm happy for him. Like I said, Sierra's getting a new job. Her current job is fine. They're very disorganized. The scheduling sucks, and she's bored. Plain and simple. She's just bored. She doesn't enjoy the work. She doesn't look forward to it. So she's working in a new place for the summer. And then we'll see how it goes when she gets into school, because volleyball starts right away, when they start school. And also, lastly, Bryce will be streaming. He streamed his first stream on Twitch this week with me. Him and I played some Icarus and some PUBG. So he's going to be streaming probably 2 to 3 days a week. I told him he could stream every day if he wanted to, but obviously he doesn't want to, quote unquote, work every day if he doesn't have to. So he'll be streaming like 2 or 3 days a week over at twitch.tv/gamerbryce15. That's his Twitch handle. So keep an eye out for that. As I mentioned earlier, come June, well, it may not be June. I say June, but I kind of want to test something in June. So I don't know if I'll actually be streaming less, but come June, I'll probably be streaming a little less. Again, not less days, but less hours. I'd like to try and keep the routine of like daily live streams, but just not as long. Like, there might be some days I do 8 hours, and there's some days I do 4. It really just depends on Tiffany's schedule and what's going on. But I'd like to get out of the house more. I feel like my mood has been a lot better in recent weeks. I still have my down days. I still get days where I get bummed out and depressed and don't feel like being social and don't feel like engaging with the camera and whatnot. For a while there, I was on a vlog kick. I vlogged every day for a week or 2. Maybe it was a week or 2. I don't know. And then I fell short. And the reason I fell short, because I was streaming again. I was streaming, 8 to 10 hours a day. And by the time I'm done streaming, I'm out of energy. Like, my tanks are empty. I'm no longer being social. And also because I get off stream and I go straight to dinner, and then from dinner we do the family catch up, and then it's sports, and then it's hit the couch, and now it's time to chill. So there's no vlog there. There's no vlog. There isn't one. And again, I don't want to be repetitive with the mundane same thing every day. I don't want to do that. So I'm not. That's plain and simple. I'm not going to. So hopefully with the less streaming hours, there's more days there. You know, maybe it'll be an every other day thing. Maybe I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I vlog Tuesdays, Thursdays, and weekends. You know, maybe that's the routine. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Nothing's set in stone. I'm not even going to say what my plan is. I don't have a plan. We're just fucking winging it. We're winging it. But yeah, my mood has been a lot better. And again, when my mood's better, then my content gets better, and I tend to share more and do more. You know, I post random videos on Twitter or Instagram just to, you know, keep the content feed going and keep engagement there. You know, hey, I'm still here, kind of thing. Another thing too that I've started to just kind of let go. I've been letting go of a lot of pent up emotions and feelings towards people and events. You know, something that there was a mass shooting that just recently happened in Texas, and of course, you know, my social media is blown up with, you know, gun laws and restrictions and the government and this and that, and you know, seeing both sides of the argument of what each side thinks we should do as a country to help this or mitigate this, and honestly, it's one side more than the other. The other side's just kind of more of like defending and or, you know, I don't know, what's the word, like arguing with the other side that that's not what we need to do. It's not the right path. That's not going to work, whatever. Anyway, it prompted a tweet that I put out, and I ended up screenshotting and put it on Instagram as well, just about how everyone's opinions and beliefs are different based on how we were raised, right? Where we were raised, our life experiences. And I think a lot of people forget about that. I think a lot of people forget that what you think is right, what you believe is correct, what you believe should be the path and or the course of action that we should take is predicated on your surroundings, your experiences. It's the same thing when it comes to racial concerns and racial issues. If you're not a person of color, you will never understand what a person of color goes through, right? With that being said, maybe you have been quote unquote discriminated against as a white guy from a colored person, right? Or maybe you've been discriminated because of religious beliefs. I mean, the list goes on and on. My point is that until you've literally, like the saying that until you've walked a mile in someone else's shoes, you don't know their, you know, where they're at, where they've been, where they've come from. And so everyone just needs to be more patient and understanding. You know, people that don't understand aren't educated on certain topics. It makes it hard to have conversations. That's one of the reasons why we don't talk about certain things in my live streams, because I, for one, am not educated on most things. I'm an idiot on most things. I'm not. I learn as I go. I'm a learn as I go kind of person. I don't need to know what something's made of until I need to know. Like, I didn't know that was made of nickel or aluminum or, you know, copper. But now that I need to know, will it conduct electricity? I'm going to look up what it's made of. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a stupid analogy, but that's my point. Like, that's how I am. I'm not a reservoir of useless information. I need to know now. I'm a need to know kind of guy, right? I'm on a need to know basis for my entire life. I need to know this now, so let's find out now. Let me Google that. Let me YouTube that. But I'm not an inquisitive person. Like, I wonder how do I rewire a light switch? Why the fuck would I waste my time looking that up unless I need to rewire a light switch? You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit about American history or world history because I'm not on fucking Jeopardy. You know, like I don't need to know useless information regarding, you know, history or whatever, because there's no reward, there's no points, there's no I don't know, there's no reason for it. It's a waste of my time, energy, for whatever. You know what I'm saying? At least that's how I live my life. Right or wrong, that's how I do it. So anyway, like I said, I've been letting go more and more of pent up emotions and feelings. And I'm starting to feel, I'm getting back to my quote, no worries, no big deal, everything's cool, Clintus, which is my pre-2020 Clintus. And that's what I'm trying to get back to. Will I ever get back there? 100%? No, 100% not. We're all changed. 2020, 2021 changed us on like every single, whether you believe it or not, the last 2 years have changed every single person. You look at things different. You look at people different. You respond to things differently. You have different beliefs now. Things that maybe you didn't believe 2 years ago, you believe now because of events, experiences, whatnot. So I'm getting better, and I feel better, and I love it. There's a couple other things going on in my personal life that I don't want to share just yet, but that's also helping. There's some things going on in my personal life that are on the up and up. Some little changes and things being done, and it's giving me a sense of, so it's all around Clint's in a good mood. Clint's in a good place for now. So for those who check in with me, I appreciate it. Let's talk about video games, man. I put out, if you remember, I think I talked about this in the last podcast. I put a tweet out, a series of tweets about how, for the last 7 years, I've been trying to be this gaming content creator. I love video games. It's my preferred hobby, and it's the one thing that I am somewhat into. And I say that with the somewhat kind of, because like, though I'm into video games, I'm into a very specific niche video games. I say I'm a gamer, but let's be real. I'm a very, I'm a niche gamer. So I don't know, call it whatever it is. I say, oh yeah, I play video games, and people go, what games do you play? It used to be just like, oh, I play Destiny, or I play Call of Duty. Like, it was real simple. Now it's a little more complex. I'm like, yeah, like first person shooters, looter shooters, survival games. I dabble here and there. But very niche. I don't play a lot of games. I don't play a wide variety of games. A lot of games don't interest me. People every day on my Twitch streams are, hey, have you played this game? Or you thought about playing this game? Are you going to play this game? Most of the time, the answer is no. No, not for me. No, not interested. What game is that? No, I never heard of it. No, that's me. But the one game I play more than anything right now is Escape from Tarkov. It's my favorite game, hands down. It has dethroned Destiny as my favorite game. In fact, I came to this kind of realization this week that Destiny took me away from Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty was my main game. Every year I bought the new Call of Duty. I bought the expansions. I bought, whatever they were offering. Give me all of it. I want to play this. All I did was play Call of Duty. Every night before I went to bed, I got online, played some multiplayer, some buds, get my KD up, like just grind, right? Then Destiny 2 came out. It took me a little bit to get into it, but once I got into it, it was all Destiny 2. Every night, logged in, played Destiny. I barely touched Call of Duty, right? When new Call of Duty would come out, I'd play it for a couple of days, but then always go back to Destiny. Well, now I feel like Tarkov is taking me away from Destiny, right? Like Call of Duty was the base. It was awesome. First-person shooter PvP, fucking loved it. Then you had Destiny, which was a first-person shooter with PvP, but also PvE, but it had this loot element of go do the thing to get the reward and hope the reward is what you're looking for. And if not, try again next time. And I played that for years, 6 years straight. That was my main game, right? I dabbled with other games like PUBG and Fortnite and whatever, but Destiny was my main game. Every time there was an update, every time there was a new season, every time there was anything new in Destiny, we were doing Destiny. And I played Tarkov here and there. I've been playing Tarkov since 2017, but I always went back to Destiny, right? New Call of Duty, let's play Call of Duty for a couple weeks, back to Destiny. Well, now Tarkov is that game. Tarkov is everything that Destiny was for Call of Duty, Tarkov is for Destiny. And a new season just launched this week, right? Season of the Haunted, Solar 3.0. That came out on Tuesday. Today is Thursday. I have yet to log into Destiny. And I'll be honest with you, sitting here right now recording this, I'm looking at my desktop with all my icons of all the games I play. I don't have any interest in jumping into Destiny. I don't. I don't hate the game. I don't dislike. I love Bungie. I love the people that work there. I love so many friends. I have so many friends I've met because of Destiny. So many streamers and content creators that still main that game. it's lost I just no longer have the drive and passion. The passion, I think that's what it is. I've lost the passion to play the game. The loot pursuit and the loot grind no longer appeals to me. I guess it's kind of like yeah. I guess it's like a drug addiction, right? Like your body gets used to a specific milligrams, and you have to increase your milligrams, right? You got to increase the dosage. You got to move on to harder shit. Well, there you go, chat. I went from Call of Duty, first person shooter PvP, very basic. That's just it. Just first person shooter PvP. Kill the other team and get a higher KD and win the match. To do that, but now earn loot. Do that and unlock exotics and armor and stuff, right? To do that, but mid-max, earn money, take their gear, knowing that when I kill that other player, I get to keep all their shit, and they get to lose out on. They gotta build it all again. They gotta buy it all back. Like, yeah, like it's that next level PvP, but also has all that satisfying little juicy bits of leveling my character and unlocking vendors and buying and building and looting and like there's no I've yet to find another game anything like it. With that being said, there is a couple of new games out in early access that are similar to Tarkov and trying to become the new Tarkov. And honestly, Battlefield 2042 tried a Tarkov-like mode, and I think they just closed it down. I think they just canceled it. And Call of Duty's also announced this like hardcore survival-esque Tarkov mode. So the next Call of Duty is supposed to have a mode like that. So, you know, BRs were the hot shit a few years ago, and that's become a main staple now. We get a new BR pretty much every year. You know, BRs of the old are still updating. Like Apex Legends had a new season. Fortnite still got new stuff coming out. PUBG still rocking strong. You know, battle royales are here to stay. This like PvPvE raid style with like a permadeath situation is, I think Tarkov has created this new genre, and it's starting to pop off. So we've got Marauders, which is in a closed alpha. World War II sci-fi. It's really weird. It's sci-fi. You start every mission in a spaceship, and you have to fly into a base, and then you go first person. But it's World War II. But it is a copy of Tarkov. It's like every aspect is like Tarkov. You loot. You have a secure container. You get out with your loot. You can craft weapons and mod them and sell them. There's an economy and all that, right? There's vendors, all that. Played it a little bit, didn't love it. It's too similar to Tarkov, but not a good version of it. Like it's like Tarkov 5 years ago, right? Tarkov right now is awesome, smooth. It still has jankiness, but I'm just saying, compared to 5 years ago, it is light years better than it was. That's Marauders. Marauders is like Tarkov 5 years ago. So I played it. I bought it. I mean, I pre-ordered it. We'll see where it goes, but I'm not. It's a pass for now. The other one is called The Cycle Frontier. Now that's had a couple different betas. This game I saw originally, and I was kind of like, eh. And then I actually got a chance to play it, and I was like, oh shit, okay, this is awesome. So this is like a sci-fi Tarkov-like game. I almost even call it like Tarkov Light. It's first person. It's in this very like stylized sci-fi world. Kind of reminds me of like Fortnite or Borderlands kind of style, artwork style. You load in with your loadout. You pick your loadout, and you run around the map killing alien PvE or PvP with players. And you loot around the map. You loot any players you kill, and then you have to extract, just like Tarkov, right? You go, when you extract, you end up in a third person like tower, like Destiny tower style, where you run around like a base, space station. There's vendors, there's a crafting station, there's a trade vendor. Eventually there'll be a battle pass and a loot, like cosmetic store. You can buy cosmetics and stuff. Very, very cool. There's a hideout where you upgrade your hideout, and the hideout is what gives you like passive abilities, but it also generates your income and your revenue. So there's a passive, like almost like a Bitcoin farm. If you're familiar with Tarkov, it's like a Bitcoin farm where you're just generating credits, because there's no scavs. There's no like offline, let me go trying to find some, like if you run out of loot, you're literally, you know, running in with a pickaxe and just trying to loot and get out to sell things to make money. But your hideout does generate revenue for you. Anyway, really enjoyed the game and looking forward to it. And I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be huge. I've been doing some research on it. It had 3 betas or 2 betas, 2 betas, 2 or 3 betas. The Discord server has over 130,000 people in it. Like, it's a very anticipated launch. I think a lot of people either who tried Tarkov but it was too hard for them, too difficult for them, are looking forward to this game, or people who play Tarkov but like get burned out on it, wipe after wipe after wipe, are looking forward to the cycle. So anyway, it comes out June 8th. It's free to play on Steam and Epic. I am very much looking forward to it. Unfortunately, it comes out on June 8th, and June 9th, I fly out to Orlando for GCX. I will be attending GCX in Orlando from it's June 11th and 12th, I think is the days. Yes, June 11th and 12th in Orlando. I'll be there, and I'm looking forward to it. I have not been to a conference since the pandemic. Very much looking forward to it. It's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be weird, but it's a good group of people that I think the vast majority of the community kind of all feel the same way about COVID. So I think it's gonna be good. I know the people that are putting on the event are doing all kinds of precautions and whatnot. So looking forward to A, traveling, but B, just hanging out with buds again, man. Like I talked about this, going back to my mood and whatnot. I've come to the realization that I need face-to-face interactions, and being locked down for so fucking long crushed me. Like, it really did. It crushed me to a point of, like, I'm an extrovert that became introverted, and not by choice, but like it made me become introverted, because I was just like, I don't want to go outside. I don't want to see anybody. I don't want to meet anybody. Like, and that's not me. That's not my natural state. And so now that things are kind of back to what the new norm is, and able to, we hung out with some neighbors just last weekend and did a happy hour with them, and it was awesome. It was so awesome. I'm going to dinner with my buddy Chuck this weekend for his birthday. And I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm just looking forward to, like, things are back to normal, and it's starting to feel good. I think that's another reason why my mood is being enhanced, is because it's starting to just kind of get back into the swing of things, and I love it. So I'm looking forward to GCX. But anyway, the cycle comes out on the 8th. I'm leaving the 9th, and Nikita from Battlestate Games, which is the company that makes Escape from Tarkov, has said that next week they're doing Tarkov.tv, which is usually, that's a live stream they do, usually when they announce and they show off all the new stuff coming in the next patch. The next patch will be a wipe. That's a big content drop. They usually either drop a new map or an expansion to a current map, which is what we're getting. We're getting an expansion to Lighthouse. We're getting 3 new bosses, new guns, new armor, new missions, yada, yada, yada. A bunch of new shit. It'll be a wipe. Well, when a wipe happens, that is the hottest time to get back into Tarkov, both as a gamer and as a streamer. Because all eyes are on, like, ooh, what's new? What's going on? And that fresh wipe where everyone's back to being Timmies. No one's got gear. Everyone's rushing to unlock vendors and be the first one to unlock certain guns and armor and ammo to then get the edge on everyone else, So I'm stoked. I cannot wait for this wipe. I feel like this last wipe, 2 wipes ago was my best wipe. This last wipe was my best wipe. I progressed much faster. I learned so much about the game and how to progress and how to level up, when to do what to spend time on, what not to spend time on, like all of that. So I am very much looking forward to this next Tarkov wipe. But the cycle is coming out, and my fear is that they're going to come out basically the same time. The cycle comes out on the 8th. I'll be gone for, 4 or 5 days, come back, crossing my fingers that Tarkov has not done the wipe and won't do the wipe. I'm hoping for the wipe at the end of June. I'd be okay with the end of June. If it's the second week of June, first week of June, I legit don't know what I'm gonna do. If I come back from GCX and the cycle, well, even if it's the same week, like if I come back from GCX and I get like 3 days to play the cycle, and then the wipe happens that Thursday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, I'm gonna be mega bummed, because as much as I want to play the cycle, and I think the cycle is gonna be a great game, and unless something crazy happens, or my, I don't know, my Twitch stream blows up and I'm doing, I don't know. I applied for the partner program. I have not gotten any word on that yet. I'm hoping, cross my fingers, in the next 2 weeks before the launch, I get at least a no. Like, give me at least a no. But if it's like it's still open ended, I have no idea. Unless something pops off with the cycle, I plan on jumping into Tarkov, because Tarkov's that long game. And also knowing that, it's one of those things where like I know there's a wipe coming, and there'll be another wipe in December, right? It's every 6 to 7 months there's a wipe. There's been rumors that there'll be a wipe in cycle as well, not knowing the cycle though. Like they don't know the cycle of the wipes. Like, is it 6 months? Is it seasonal? Like, are they gonna wipe? Like, we don't know that yet. At least I don't know that yet. But Tarkov is like I said, is that main game for me. And so, and there's more to grind for, and there's more to strive for in Tarkov. Whereas the cycle, again, I mean, the game's new. I played the beta. I've watched videos. It's a lighter version of Tarkov. So at the time of this recording, like I said, if the cycle comes out and then shortly after the wipe happens in Tarkov, I will jump into Tarkov, and Tarkov will be the main thing for weeks. Again, I'm hoping that I get like maybe a month with the cycle, get to a good place, and then the wipe happens with Tarkov, and then depending on how I'm feeling with the cycle and the grind and the leveling and, you know, again, that satisfaction. Because the thing with the cycle is, what thing you have to level up and grind, you have your stash, you have your hideout, that you can level up, like I said, the passive abilities, how much storage you get, how many secure containers you get, how much money you generate. You have 3 factions to rank up, and you do that by doing missions and jobs. And when you level them up, it unlocks a new weapon. You have think of like Call of Duty. As you level up, you unlock weapons, and then when you use a weapon, you unlock attachments. The cycle is the same way. You level up a faction, and it unlocks a new weapon. So let's say at level 5, you unlock a SMG. At level 10, you unlock an AR. At level 15, you unlock a rocket launcher. Like, it's like that progression. And that's it. That's the only progression that there is. There's your hideout, and there's the vendors. Now, on the surface level, to me, that's not enough, right? That's that in-between stage of like, okay, well, it's more than Destiny, but not nearly as much as Tarkov. So why don't I just play Tarkov? And that's why I'm saying that if the cycle and the wipe happen at the same time, as much as I want to play the cycle, I would grind Tarkov. You know what I'm saying? We'll have to wait and see what happens with the cycle. It's free to play. So I see virtually all my Tarkov friends and most of my Destiny friends at least trying out the cycle. If all of a sudden I have a large group of people to play the cycle with, like I have with Tarkov, maybe I play more cycle. I don't know. It's undetermined at this time, but I'm super excited for the game to launch. I'm super excited to have another game that I'm excited about. The only other game that's on my radar right now that I'm looking forward to release or more information on is Dystera. I don't know if I talked about that in the last podcast, and again, depending on when I recorded it, Dystera it's basically a sci-fi Rust. I've never played Rust, but everyone that watched me play Dystera, because I did like a 12-hour stream, was like, this looks like Rust, but sci-fi. Or this is a sci-fi Rust. Oh, that's just like Rust. So really, really enjoyed Dystera. It's a sci-fi aesthetic. It is a first-person shooter with PvP and PvE. There is gathering, crafting, and building, and has a survival aspect. So it's a survival game. So again, it goes back to that, like, it's a Tarkov, but with building. It's a Tarkov, but with actual crafting. And I really enjoyed it. It has levels and skills as well. So which is another, like, I just love that aspect. It's just checking boxes and filling bars and circles and progress. I love to see that. There's loot to be had. Like, it is so good. Little janky in the beta. I'm hoping that I know they're doing they're doing a server test right now. They just launched it today. Stability changes, so they're looking for feedback on stability. So they're already working on server stuff. And I did get accepted in that partner program. So, or actually, they reached out to me. I didn't even apply. They have reached out to me and said, hey, I forget the name of the company, but they reached out to me and was like, hey, we're putting a partner program together. We'd like you to invite you in. I was like, hell yeah, dude, I'm down. So that's another game that I'm looking forward to. Hoping that comes out like in the fall. So like, again, knowing that Tarkov's wipe will be in December or later, hoping that Dystera kind of comes out in the middle of the season, like 3 months from now would be super cool. Or like next year. Like again, I'm not in a hurry for it. I've got Tarkov, and I've got the cycle, and I really think that that's going to be the cadence. I think if, let's say, I play, maybe I get a couple weeks of the cycle, and then Tarkov does the wipe, and I jump into Tarkov and I grind Tarkov for like 2 months. I know in the back of my mind I got the cycle, and if the cycle is this lighter version of Tarkov, then I don't feel as much of a pressure to progress and level up in the cycle like I do in Tarkov. Tarkov has so much to grind that makes an actual difference in the game. Because that's the biggest thing too. You know, in Destiny, I feel like the grind no longer has meaning. It's fun, but it's a trophy hunter. It's a trophy collection. You're hunting for the god roll weapons, the god roll armor, and titles purely to say, look what I have, right? Because I don't feel like once I've got those god rolls, it makes that big of a difference. It used to. It used to feel that way. It used to feel like get that god roll gun to be better in PvP. Get that god roll armor with the perfect mods to be better in PvP. But then what happened for me personally was there wasn't anything worth grinding for in PvP. It went back to being Call of Duty. I'm just playing just to keep my KD up. Or, you know, there was the Unbroken title, and I did the one Unbroken title. I got my guns, and that was it. I feel like I conquered that mountain, and there was no other mountain for me to conquer and climb. I'm not good enough in PvP or trials to really do that. There is solo queuing, and I'm kind of curious about that now, but again, I think it's too little too late for me personally. I just feel like the grind is no longer meaningful in the game because the rewards aren't meaningful enough to me personally. Whereas Tarkov, like I said, when I beat somebody in PvP, the rewards are huge. What did they have? What was their gear? You know, how much is that worth? I just looted a guy and made 500K. Boom. 500K is a tricked out weapon. 500K is, you know, two loadouts, 3 loadouts, whatever. There's that meaningfulness behind killing another player in Tarkov that a game like Destiny just doesn't have anymore for me personally. So yeah, anyway, looking forward to the cycle, looking forward to a fresh wipe in Tarkov, lots of more of that content. And I'm hoping to, I need to get my buddy Cade, the owner and creator of Make Echoes, the software that I use to create my like highlight reels on YouTube. He's been working tirelessly on all kinds of new features and stuff. And so I'm really looking forward to, with Tarkov and or Cycle, get this routine built where when something cool happens, save it, mark it, clip it, and start creating more content on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. So that's my goal with the next wipe and everything, is really try to dial in these magical moments that again, a game like Tarkov has these moments that no other game for me personally has to offer. Like these moments of just like, I look back at my Destiny PvP moments, and sure, I've had some cool like 2v1s, 3v1s. I can't believe I got that shot. Oh man, I should have been dead there. Like, it happens. Don't get me wrong. Same thing in Call of Duty, something like that. But the frequency that it happens in Tarkov is like exponentially higher. And it goes back to that high risk, high reward, right? You pull off a clutch shot, you pull off a clutch battle, and you're in shambles. You see your body, blacked out limbs, your guy's like choking because he's got no stomach. Like, oh man, I still to this day, my adrenaline starts pumping like no other. You know what I'm saying? Like, so anyway, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to a new game, the Cycle Frontier, and a new wipe in Tarkov with new content in Tarkov. I guess that's it. Lastly, I guess my notes kind of jumped around a little bit here, but I was just going to say, you know, I put that tweet out, like I said, a couple weeks ago about gaming versus IRL streaming or IRL content, and how I feel like after 7 years of trying to be this gaming content creator that I've kind of failed at, or at least didn't get to the point where I wanted to be, that I need to kind of like go back to my roots of being this IRL content creator. And we did for a while there. We were using the IRL backpack, and I was doing live streams on the back porch. We did the hot tub stream, did a couple in the kitchen and the living room, and I definitely want to continue to do that. The part that I struggle with, and maybe this will change with my hours changing, but I feel like I just can't do that for as long. Whereas I can play video games for hours, right? I've done 10, 12, 18-hour live streams playing video games because, let's be honest, when you're doing something you love, you could do it forever, right? As long as you got energy, as long as you're still enjoying and having fun, you can do it forever. You know what I'm saying? And I do. I do grind sessions where I stream for 10, 12 hours playing games, you know? I have not yet to find a way to do IRL streams for more than 6 hours. And those 6 hour streams was when I was out walking streets, exploring, you know, moving, being in one spot, being in one location. 4 hours, I think, is the max. And even the conversations in chat start to die down. Even and that happens when I do gaming streams. I'll start my stream off with like a just chatting, or even I'll be in the directory for the game because I'm getting ready to get into the game, play some players, some friends. And the conversation dies after the first hour. The hype is there. The notifications go out. The tweets go out. Hey, yo, guys, I'm live. Let's go. Everyone jumps in. Yo, what's up, Clintus? Good morning. How was your weekend? How was your day? What's new? Here's my resub. You know what? Here's $5. Whatever. Everyone gets their conversation piece out, and then everyone just disperses, or they go to lurker mode, and the conversations die down. And which is where the video games come into play, because I'm live, my stream is going, and then people come in and out throughout the day. Right? I gotta go to a meeting. I'll be back. And they come back. All right, I'm back. How's the games been? Oh, the game's been sick, man. This and this and that. Here's this clip. Here's that. Here's this. Try this. Check that out. Right? Or 2 hours into my live stream, someone comes in. Hey, Clintus, how's your day going, man? I'm on my lunch break. How are the games? Or even forget the games. How was your day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those, because I can play a game, there's not dead space. There's not dead air. Whereas if I'm doing a just chatting, like I'm doing like right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, it's my full camera, I'm talking. If you're listening to this on the podcast, I'm sitting here just talking. And when I'm live, there's a chat room. So there's a conversation piece being had. Someone says something, I respond, I ask a question, people answer, and we have this dialogue. When the chat dies down, when there's literally nobody talking, I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Now, and maybe I have a list of things I want to talk about. Maybe I have some topics. There's some days where I log in and I've got 4 things I want to talk about today, right? Cool. I did that. Just like this podcast is about an hour long. Cool. We hit all the topics. I said everything I wanted to say. We had our conversations. That's only an hour of my day. I've got 7 more to go. That's where video games come into play. That's where the video games fill that gap, fill that void, and continue the conversation, because either I'm doing things in the game and everyone's asking questions, or people that play the game that I'm playing want to ask questions or learn, or hey, did you know you could do this? Or hey, did you know you could do that? Or didn't know you could do that. How did you do that? Right? Or just watching for entertainment value. And, so I do some sick play and it's like, holy shit, that was awesome, Clintus. GG's, I need to find that balance. I need to figure out, how do I do IRL content live from my house? Because that's really it. Once the weather gets nice again, once we're back in the fall and the temps start to drop, which is unfortunate because we are just now hitting summer. Sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear the jet over my head. It's Maverick flying around. Top Gun 2 coming out this week. Damn it, lost my train of thought. Oh, IRL. Yeah. So when the weather gets nice, being able to go and walk around again with the backpack, IRL streams will be popping. I could do 6 to 7 hours easy, no problem. But we just got into summer. It's already in the 90s. It's already in the hundreds. Today's high is 102. Not only do I not want to be walking around for extended periods of time in 102 degrees, but that backpack will literally explode. It was already getting pretty hot when it was in the 80s and I was outside. So just not reasonable, not realistic for me to be out and about walking around in this time of year. So we got to wait now till October, at the earliest, for the weather to be comfortable enough for me to walk around with a backpack for 6 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? So I put that tweet out and I had that sentiment of like, yeah, the gaming, my gaming content doesn't really pop off, doesn't really shine. Whereas like my IRL content, even on Twitter and Instagram, when I put something up IRL content, I get more engagement. I get more engagement than anything I put on gaming, right? Because gaming is very niche. I mean, even the games that I play, I love Escape from Tarkov, But there is a large portion of my community that does not like Escape from Tarkov. They've never played it, will never play it, have no interest in it, don't want to learn about it. That's the other thing too. There are some people who just refuse to learn about the game. Whereas I feel like if they learned about the game and understood what I was doing, why I was doing it, why it matters, this and that, they'd have this better understanding. At the very least, if people just watch it for what it is, it's a PvP game. I think the problem is that you can go full 30 minutes with no PvP action, so it's slow, it's boring. I get that. It's also the excitement of at any given moment I could be shot at any given moment I could be sniped, at any given moment I could be ran up on, at any given moment I could come around into a room and there's a guy waiting for me, right? There's that suspense and that thrill. But people don't like the game. I recognize that. I understand that. On the flip side, on any given stream, new people come to my chat from the Tarkov directory, from the Tarkov community, mutual streamers, friends I'm playing with. I get raided. People get offline from the East Coast. They drop over to my stream because I'm on the West Coast. And so the community grows. The community continues to grow with Escape from Tarkov, just like it grew with the Destiny, community and whatnot. And so I'll continue to play the games that I want to play because it's what I'm into. If I went and tried to play like GTA or Fortnite or insert your favorite game that you wish that I played, unless I got into that game, unless I got into that community, unless I started following other streamers and being in other chat rooms that played, unless I was into that games community, it will never be the same as if like Tarkov or Destiny, where I'm in the community, I'm in the scene, right? Like when I go online and I go to Twitch, 99% of the time, the streamers that I see on my follow page are Tarkov streamers, and they're playing Tarkov, and I'm in their community, I'm in their chats, talking to other people that play Tarkov, just like I did for years and years with Destiny. It's the same thing. I just have transitioned because I'm no longer quote unquote into Destiny. I'm not consuming Destiny content. Now, I'm sure that would change if I watched more Destiny live streams. I would definitely be more enticed to play Destiny, but it just doesn't interest me enough to even click on my friends' streams playing Destiny. I don't have a desire to watch it. And the same goes for other people. I respect that. See, that's the thing. As a streamer, I understand how it works. I have friends, bona fide friends with phone numbers and text. I could text that don't watch my stream because I'm not playing the game they want me to they're into. They don't play Tarkov. They don't care about Tarkov. They play X game and they want to watch X content from the X game. You know what I'm saying? So I understand that. I get that. It's every community. You know what I'm saying? If tomorrow I started playing Fortnite, my numbers would be probably the same, but the names in chat would be different, right? Half of them would be like, wait, you're not playing Tarkov? Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. And then you have the exact same amount of people that come over and go, oh shit, you're playing Fortnite? Dope. And then it's like they come out of the woodwork all of a sudden. Like, I haven't been here in 2 years. How you been, Clintus? It's like, oh, I've been great. Thanks for asking. My running joke is when someone comes to chat for like the first time in like a year or two, I'm always like, did you just get out of prison? Did you just get out of mental hospital? I don't know, I probably shouldn't joke about that, but you get my point. My point is like, you've been gone for a long period of time. He just got released back in the wild. But in any case, it's an always evolving. My content and my job is always an evolving thing, right? I love streaming. I love streaming on Twitch. I have no desire to switch platforms or change. And honestly, realistically, I wouldn't change. I changed from YouTube to Twitch back in the day, 5 years ago. I have no desire to do it again. The only way it would ever happen is if one of them paid me, and they'd have to pay me well enough to jump. Once upon a time, Mixer reached out to me, and without signing an NDA and getting actual real numbers, all they offered me was to bring me over at the same level of pay that I was making on Twitch to subsidize me until I could build my following and everything back up. And I was like, no, that's not good enough for me to make the jump and to move my community and regrow on a new platform. You'd have to pay me on top of that, and it would need to be a good amount. I know I'm not a big old streamer with getting $1 million check, but still, 6 figures would have been nice. But that wasn't on the table, so the conversation ended there. And to be real, I would probably never go to Facebook. The platform itself just has too many issues and concerns and problems. Though I do think that they're taking streaming a little more serious than YouTube. If I had to leave Twitch, or if I was going to leave Twitch, I would go back to streaming on YouTube. With that being said, I have 2 channels on YouTube. I have Clintus Games and I have Clintus, aka Clintus.tv. And if I were going to be full-time live streaming on YouTube, I know that sounds crazy, but I would probably go to Clintus. And Clintus Games would just be either VODs or whatever, because like everything else, my name is Clintus. Everything is Clintus. Twitter.com/Clintus, Twitch.tv/Clintus, YouTube.com/Clintus, Instagram.com/Clintus. Like, even though it's my IRL channel, if you look at Clintus TV, it has the same profile picture and icon and banner as my Twitch channel. As you know, it's so even though it's an IRL channel, I would 100% start gaming on it. And it's just because the branding, because of branding, you know. It'd be weird, but it would kill my channel. It would kill my channel. All of a sudden, one day you wake up and Clintus TV is live playing Escape from Tarkov. You're like, what the fuck? But, you know, again, hopefully we never get to that point. Hopefully we never get to a point where I have to switch to YouTube, because I'd prefer to stay right where I'm at on Twitch. Anyway, guys, that's an hour, and I got everything on my list. The only other thing that I was going to say is summer's here. Kids are out of school. A lot of people are asking us what we're doing for traveling, any summer plans. And as of right now, we have no travel plans because Sierra had 4 freaking volleyball tournaments where we traveled, and we spent a shit ton of money traveling. Just going to Chicago alone for Sierra and Tiffany, just 2 people, was $2,000. Denver for not Denver, sorry. Philadelphia for Sierra and I was almost $2,000 just for traveling, just for fucking traveling. Flights are so expensive. Hotels have gone up. Like, everything's expensive. So we spent a shit ton of money for volleyball. So we kind of are waiting for the dust to kind of settle. You know, taxes have been paid, everything's been paid, and we're kind of just waiting to see where we're at. No major travel plans at the moment, but you know what? We're spontaneous. We're last minute. There might be maybe a California, like a San Diego trip towards the end of summer before school starts. You know, make a quick drive, and maybe do like 3 days over there. But realistically, what I see in our future, short little weekend trips. I say weekend because obviously during the week I stream, but short little weekend trips to up northern Arizona, renting cabins, renting Airbnbs. And we sold our trailer. So I definitely want to continue camping or being up in the woods. I love nature and I love that vibe, but now I'm a cabin guy, you know? So we're going to rent some Airbnbs. We're going to do some cabins and, you know, do some little weekend. Like, I want to go to Lolomai. We haven't been to Lolomai in 2 years. I'd love to go back to Lolomai, you know? So I see ourselves doing little things like that. Maybe some staycations at some resorts. There's still some great resorts here in Arizona that we have not been to. There's some resorts up north, like around Oak Creek, Flagstaff area that we've never been to. So that's kind of what I see this summer being like, especially with Sierra working full time over the summer to make money. I see us maybe that's our future. So, but stay tuned. We'll keep you updated on that. And with all that, of course, be vlogs and maybe some IRL streams. Maybe depends on the connection. Depends where we're at. You have to have good internet to live stream. So, we'll see. Thanks so much for listening. I do appreciate it. Sorry for the inconsistency. The podcast has always been like third string from the other content. You know, Twitch has been number 1 for the last 5 years, followed by YouTube and the podcast. So. Record the podcast when I can or when I have something worth sharing. So I think sometimes maybe like, you know, going a couple weeks is good because I have a lot to talk about. If I did this every week, it might be shorter episodes, maybe just one topic. I'm not sure. But in any case, appreciate you. Thanks for listening. And I will see you on the next one, which could be next week. Stay tuned.